Chinedu Anaje, partner and head of dispute resolution, arbitration and risk management practice group at AO2 Law, says the alternative dispute resolution center set up by the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission is timely. But he notes there cannot be any meaningful implementation of the provisions of the Petroleum Industry Act if disputes relating to host communities and operators are allowed to unnecessarily continue and consequently endanger conducive operating environment and productivity. He joins me now for more on this. Chinedu, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Esther, for having me.
Right. Now, you've said that this alternative dispute resolution center is timely, and obviously this is always a topic of conversation when we have conversations around Nigeria's oil and gas industry, especially around particularly the host communities, the environmental degradation, and of course lingering issues where we see these issues last for months, years in mainstream judicial processes. But talk to us about how soon this can hit the ground running, and if it does have the capacity to address lingering cases that have been, issues that have been ongoing for years, sometimes even decades, with host communities.
All right, thank you, Esther. So first of all, I want to say, just like you rightly pointed out, that the setting up of the ADR Center by the NUPRC is quite timely. And I say this because of the fact that if you look at the provisions of the Act, the Commission actually has the powers to set up some kind of dispute resolution mechanism. And as of 2021, when the Act came into operation, I, for one, among others, felt that, setting up an alternative dispute resolution mechanism aside, allowing parties, and what I mean parties here, the host community and the operators to be in the courtroom will not help to unlock, the envisaged potentials which the Act, has enshrined. And that's why I said it's actually timely. Now, in terms of whether it has become operational, I think it is with the inauguration of the body of neutrals by the CEO of the Commission. I think it was on the 9th of September. My belief is that the body has hit the ground running. Now, when you take a look at the caliber of professionals that were, assembled by the Commission as constituting the body of neutrals, these are people who are experts, either within the industry as legal practitioners, or who have also, showed up their potential and ability while working within the industry. So in terms of hitting the ground running, I think it is. Then in terms of capacity, like I said, the move made by the Commission is one that resonates strongly with me. I said this because as an arbitration practitioner and an AR practitioner for over two decades, I can tell you authoritatively that for such an environment, litigation is not the way to resolve disputes. And if you look at the provisions of the PIA, particularly under Chapter 3, speaking about Section, I think, 234, 235, that speaks to the issue of host communities, how they will be able to benefit from operations that are, go on within their environment. Now, typical of what we normally know or what we see is that once there's an issue, the next place is court. And of course, you can get into the court 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, if not achieved anything meaningful. And what that then translates to is that it's not going to give access to productivity, it's not going to give access to development. Because if you look at provisions of the Act, there's a lot of available funds in terms of statutory contributions that are supposed to be made by these operators, right, for purposes of developing their host communities. Now, typical of that is, under Section 235, it envisages what you call the Host Community Development Trust to be set up by the settlor, and there are statutory contributions that ought to be made into that trust for the benefit of the host community. And if the host community are in court with the producers that operate within their environment, typical of what we see is that once these matters to go to court, injunctions will start, flying left, right, and center.
Right.
And it becomes impossible to have access to these funds. Now,
right.
the only way this can be done is that when you have an ADR, which is an alternative dispute resolution mechanism, which in my view, from my experience over the past 2 decades, is faster, is cheaper, and again, it addresses the core contractual issues, which at the end of the day, because it's faster and it's cheaper, unlike litigation, right? There's every high tendency that issues will be easily resolved, and also there will be a quicker approach to resolution of issues, because ultimately the whole essence of the laudable provisions of the Act, the FCIA Act, is to see true benefit that accrues to the host communities. But when everything is locked down, in litigation, at least there are some that I'm involved at the moment. And I
wanted to ask you about that, Chinedu. Those that are currently in mainstream courts, can the litigants be encouraged to bring, I don't know if this is possible, to bring those cases to the arbitration table to have them settled out of court, if you will, with this new center?
Absolutely. Yes, I agree with you. It's not shut out. Parties are not shut out to explore, settlement out of court. As a matter of fact, courts also encourage parties and litigants to do that. So, notwithstanding that they are already in court, with the establishment of the ADR Center, they can, by mutual agreement, decide to, step back, discuss among themselves, and once they agree, they will file what you call terms of settlement in court, and the matter will be, withdrawn completely. So again, it doesn't foreclose even matters that are already in court from being discussed, and then finding an amicable settlement.
All right.
And I think, just like I said, basically, it's just to be able to create an opportunity to unlock the accessible funds for the development of the host.
Right, Chinedu, I must thank you for your time. Thank you so much for talking to us today. Chinedu Anaje, partner and head of Dispute Resolution, Arbitration and Risk Management Practice Group at AO2 Law.